Hello, my name is Rachel and I love crafting. Now you may remember, it's been a while now, might even been close to a year, but sometime way back I had received these button makers to make like pin badges, buttons, for free for review. And I did a review video and obviously if I remember I'll try to put it up in the cards here so you can go check out the original video on this. But someone saw that video and was wondering if you could use this to make buttons with fabric. And I had no idea because I haven't tried fabric yet. So I told him that I hadn't tried it yet, but I will. I will try it. So that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna try it with you guys. We're gonna find out if this button maker, if we can use fabric instead of paper to make buttons. So we're going to flip around into Craft Vision. And have done Craft Vision in a while. I haven't done a craft video in a while, but we're gonna flip around to Craft Vision and get started. All right, so I have a couple of different fabrics here that I thought we could make some buttons with, and I also have this skull fabric here. And this machine came with everything you need to make buttons in 3 different sizes, and it also supplied paper templates for the size that you need to actually cut out. The size of your button will be smaller than the template, of course, but this is the size of the template that you need to cut out to use with the button maker. And I actually have like hole punches. For 2 of these I have about the right size, and one of these I have a hole punch that's just a touch too small. It gets tricky because although they're giving you American measurements on the button maker, it's actually in millimeters, so it's off just a little bit. So then when you try to get the corresponding inches, it can be off just a little bit. But 2 of them worked out fine for me. Although actually one of them I purchased was actually meant for the button maker, so it was the exact right size. But the other 2 I tried to do just regular hole punches, getting as close to the size as possible. And one of them worked out great, and the other one not so much. But I don't even remember which ones those were, and we're not going to be using the hole punches anyway, so I don't even know why I'm telling you about all this. But anyway, what I am going to do is I'm going to use these templates, and I've got a nice trusty pair of fabric scissors, and somewhere I have a black Sharpie. Never mind, I have a green Sharpie. So what I'm going to do is, because the backs are a little bit lighter so the marker should show up, I'm just going to cut out one of each size from one of each pieces of fabric, and I'm just going to do that by putting our template down, tracing it in marker, and cutting it out. Alright, so obviously I'm not going to make you watch me do that for every single one, so I'm going to go off camera, cut my rest of mine out, and we'll come back and we'll break out the button machine. Alright, so we finished cutting everything out. This fabric I chose to only cut out the largest one because of the pattern on the fabric. It would be kind of pointless to do any of the smaller sizes. You would just get like part of a picture, but these, because of the way that they are, I think would make cute buttons. Also, I messed up on centering my cat, so I wound up drawing 3 circles, so some of my green did bleed through, so keep that in mind also when you're working with this, that your ink may bleed through to the other side of the fabric. So if you mess up and have to draw multiple circles, you might, I'm not sure if any of that will actually show up on the actual pin or if it'll all be close enough to the edge to get bent over, but we'll find out if it even works. I'm pretty optimistic to have cut all of these out without even trying one first. But okay, so we're going to actually start with the largest pins, just because that's the mold I already have set up in the, I guess do it this way so you can see, button machine. But the way the button machine just works is you have a side and a B side. Oh, there's multiple parts to this. Let me grab the hose, which bad planning. So the 3 parts are the tray, the Mylar cover sheet and the actual pin back. So, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Let me pull this out just a little. And then you can see more of my messy desk. But okay, so here you start by you put in the metal. You put your fabric, in this case fabric, or your piece of paper in here. Looks like I might need to trim just a little off the edges. The other thing I didn't consider was I'm drawing on the outer edge of the circles, so if I cut on the outer edge of that line, my shapes might be just a touch big, but there we go. That worked nicely. And then you put the Mylar sheet on top. You slide it over, and then the pin will go, I'm trying to remember this, I believe it's this direction where the actual functioning part of the pin that you would put into your shirt faces downward. I didn't even take into consideration lining it up, so I'm not sure where we're going to be with that, but oops. Get our first one down, so we do the first one, and then it takes everything out of there, and then you go to the second one, and that one goes all the way down. The first one only goes halfway down. The second one, your handle will go all the way down, and boom, look at that. That worked perfectly. So the answer to the question, can we use fabric? Yes. Now I would be careful, I think, if you used a thicker fabric. A thicker fabric may not work, but the fabrics that I have here are all just these reasonably thin, like poly cotton blends that are probably not much thicker, or probably not any thicker than the sheet of paper. So keep that in mind. Also, the thickness of your fabric will matter. It can't be like, you've got to kind of find that perfect paper thickness too, because sometimes too thin can mess it up. So just things to keep in mind. But let's do the other three, and I'm gonna be quiet and just speed it up. Unfortunately, this one, the Mylar messed up. The fabric actually seemed to work pretty decently, but the Mylar didn't get pushed under there correctly. So there's a failure. This one worked perfectly. So yeah, that's cute. Hopefully this works, because that fabric does have a little bit of a crease to it. Ooh, and that smoothed it right out. Perfect. So I'm going to go change the molds on the button maker, and I will come back and we will go to the next size. Okay, so we are back. I have the next size down. I believe this includes a 1 inch, a 1.5 inch, and I believe the big ones are 2.5 inch or maybe 2.25 inch. I can't remember the sizes. I'll try to remember to put it down in the description box. But again, put that in there. And this did come with all 3 size molds. And if it's still available, I will also, gotta trim a little off of that one, put the listing, and it will be an Amazon affiliate link, just so you know. If you did click on that link, I might earn some commission. But if it's still available, I'll put the listing down below in the description box as well. Okay, so let me quit talking so we can speed this up, and I can just show you me making this size button. Remember, the first time only goes halfway down, so don't try to force that handle down any further for that first bit, but the second bit goes all the way down. So yep, another perfectly done button, even if I didn't necessarily cut the fabric in a good way for it. How cute. All right, so far we've had pretty good success. We've only screwed up one button, and that seemed to be more the Mylar's fault than the fabric's fault. And that does occasionally happen. You do occasionally get one that just messes up for who knows why. All right, I'm gonna go put in the final mold and we'll do these last 3 buttons. Okay, I almost forgot I'm supposed to be filming this and I've already put the middle tray in. Here's our first fabric. Mylar sheet. And these pin backs are a little bit different than the other ones, but same concept. Make sure the part that you actually pin onto you goes downwards. And perfect pin. Although with this size, I've kind of lost the spider web pattern, but it's still kind of cute, little star. So yeah, we were completely successful except for that one. Except for the one. This was really successful. Of course, these smaller pins, like this one probably came out best just because this was the best print for this size of pin. Like this, I mean, still, I guess, okay. You still get like half a skull. And this, you can't really tell it's spider webs anymore, but you get the cute little star, I guess. But, you know, obviously, like, when you do this for real, pick fabric patterns that work with the size of pin you have. But I just wanted to make sure that I could actually do it in all 3 sizes. You know, I thought maybe the smaller size might have more difficulty for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, I will be right back. So that was pretty awesome and successful. We did get 3 of our large pins came out perfectly and are super cute. I feel like the large is probably best for the fabric patterns, simply because as you get smaller, you lose a lot of the pattern. Sadly, we did have the one failure, and I am sad about that because that would have been cute. But unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about this, and you can't even reuse the parts. So it just becomes waste. But it almost worked. But this one, it was actually the Mylar that messed up. So the fabric still worked great. And as I mentioned earlier, I think as long as you keep your fabric, make sure your fabrics are reasonably thin. You know, try to do this with a flannel probably. I mean, I don't know. Maybe try it, see if it works. But you know what I'm saying. Like, I think as long as it stays within that, you know, paper thinness, maybe up to a light cardstock. I think I've used a light cardstock before, but I think when you get into the heavier cardstocks, they don't work as well because they just don't bend as well around the corners. Like when you get too thick, it just doesn't bend as well around the corners. And also you might have the Mylar problem more if it's too thick because there may not be enough room to get both the fabric and the Mylar underneath the edge there. But this was successful, yes. You can use fabrics to make buttons with this button machine. And I want to thank the person who asked me that question. Hopefully I can find your comment again and I will reply that I filmed a whole video for you for the answer. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about all this down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, feel free to give it a thumbs down and please tell me all about it in the comments below. And please subscribe to the channel. And I hope everyone is just staying happy, healthy, and safe in this incredibly crazy world we're living in. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.